you're bringing in a petition. No, you ask yourself. You understand? This is where you remember when Saint Leo moved out. It's the same saga. You understand? So what is killing people in Uganda, or maybe in northern Uganda, is one thing. Petitioning, and these are the people who tells you, you do this and do this, you're gonna be like this. Let me say we are getting maybe licenses from DFA, like Green Forest. No, it's okay, you can use it. You understand?
Okay, Moriss, let's leave it at that. In case Team Nepsend Football wins this petition, definitely they will be representing young elephants instead in the better for big league next season. So let's leave it at that, and I'll talk about
fine. For me,
one of the biggest stories developing this evening indicates that Team the Black Angels actually forward in the names of Opaof Benjamin has crossed over to Eastern Giants. That's Bull. He'll be signing a 2 years contract. Remember, he's commonly known as Messi, and he has been so sensational for Team the Black Angels actually in the bed power for big league, and he has scored a couple of goals for them in the big league. So finally, he has crossed over to one of the biggest clubs actually in the Ghana Premier League. That's Bull FC. Remember, Bull finished third on the log with a good number of points. There were only 10 points adrift of Vipers.
The champions. Yeah. It's a good move for him, but it's too good. But the only problem in Uganda, we only sign at short-term contracts.
You know, he signed for 2 years contract.
Yeah, only.
Following the expiration of his contract by the Black Angels.
The only thing that I wish this young lad is let him go and prove himself into Uganda Premier League, and he makes more goals and work hard to make it. He's from Nebi, I think.
Yeah.
He has been from Nebi Central, something like that. He worked so hard. At one point, even I wanted him, but I couldn't afford the price of him.
You want to take him where?
At Green Forest, of course.
How can you sign a player from Big League and take it to come and play?
No, like
is that really realistic?
No, it is possible as long as someone is patient with his life.
That one won't happen.
Yeah,
in
but
football. That one, I'm telling you that
I've
watched
this young lad playing too good. He's so good. He's a very good striker. He's too good. The only thing I wish young Messi is one: go prove yourself out there. Not only to the club you're signing, Bull, prove it to Uganda that you will make it through into the national team. Yeah.
I think Oparof, aka Messi, or Benjamin, I think he'll be one of the players that Western actually FA needs to work seriously in there. He needs to be summoned into the Western Province team. Remember, he had a couple of actually good seasons with the Black Angels. In the last 2 seasons, he has been so influential in that team of the Black Angels. Remember, the Black Angels are about to seal their way through to what we call sometimes Ghana Premier League. Actually, in there, they were kind of embarrassed by what we call Calabar Football Club, and the game that they lost against the Buhimba Saints actually at Barakoro. So that means team the Black Angels will still be playing their games actually in the football big league in there. So next season we expect a lot from the team of the Black Angels there. But hopefully we see the play in the names of Benjamin of aka Messi should be signing in that team of Bull. I know the competition will always be there very steep for him, but the reality is he has been so influential of team by the Black Angels. So we wish him well wherever he's going in. Before we talk about Ronald Sesegana's move to APR of Rwanda, but let's talk about Gaddafi Wahab, whose contract with NEC FC is final over, and it has been alleged that Jamus of South Sudan is seriously mounted his situation, and he's likely going to join the team. Jamus, remember the other Western players who have crossed over to Jamus already. Remember they've changed their allegiance. Gaddafi himself has actually changed his allegiance to South Sudan. And then we have players like Okota Rashid, we have Bida Ezras, and then Gama as well has joined the team. So are we seeing one of the most actually influential players for Western Province and for NEC in the names of Gaddafi Wahab joining Jamus? Remember, I've seen him with a lot of actually beards, his beards, I've gotten that saved a little bit. I like it so much, and
no,
finally,
you see, let me tell you,
FC.
he may go there, and I wish him the best, because in Ugandan Premier League club, we don't give a lot of contract to players. And at the same time, we don't have opportunities like most of the Northerners here. We don't have opportunities to play in the national team. There are few who can play there. So if you get the opportunity, you look at Oloya, you look at a lot of players who are now into like South Sudanese players. So on my side, I look at the point that his move is a good one for the best club in South Sudan. Although South Sudan Premier League is also kind of still developing. It's not more than Uganda, like in terms of quality and everything, but in terms of payment, they are good. So in Uganda, you're not getting serious opportunities. You go and sign contract there. It's a good move for him and for his future and the family.
Okay, Moriss, let's talk about the competitiveness of South Sudan Premier League and the compared to the one of Ghana Premier League. Which one seems to be more exposed?
The one of Uganda is more exposed, but there's only one problem in Uganda, that every match you join one of the biggest club in Premier League in Uganda. They like looking at sideways. Sideways, I mean, does he come from north? Does he come from south? Does he come from east? So this is one of the biggest. And then the problem is payment, like real payment. Like you don't sign good, you'll sign 2 years contract, but you end up like maybe receiving a little big money or like a very small money. Like the contract is always bubble. You understand? Now, the example shows, if you look at what FIFA is trying to do, they are paying players. They are awarding clubs who have won from 2023 to 2024 this year. You ask yourself why. You understand? So these are the pressure that put players to go away into another league. Yeah.
But what could be your advice for him? Do you expect him to go to Jamus, or you expect him to come and play for Team Calvary and in the
I will look like okay, fine. Team Calvary, he could play for Team Calvary. He could even play for Team Paida Black Angels. But how much is the pay? Because here you sign contract agreement clearly, which is shown that this guy signed contract with us for 2 years or 3 years. I advise where you earn more money is where you go, because all this work we are doing is all about money. Yeah, you cannot sit in the studio then later on they don't pay you. That's out, man.
All right, thank you so much for that exclusive analysis, Moriss. Let's talk about one of the breaking stories that kind of actually developed this evening, and it is the first time that you're getting here, and you will never get it in any other media house until tomorrow, about the services of Ronald Seseganda, who has crossed over to EPR of actually Rwanda in the actually European power, the African powerhouse of Rwanda Premier League, and they have been so doing a lot in there. They have been actually dominating the Rwanda Premier League for a couple of seasons. Remember, last season they were crowned the champions actually of Rwanda Premier League with their 67 points, and Ronald Seseganda, the dynamic AC Villa and Ghana Cranes squad have finally crossed over to APR on 2 years contract.
The best midfielder in Premier League of Uganda, the best player at Villa. Actually, Villa lost a lot of players. So a lot of players, not only him, a lot of players left Villa. And when you asked me last time that why is it like Villa want white players? No, white coaches. No, the problem is one. Villa have lost a lot of players. That's the fact. They have lost a lot of key players. Sechiganda is one of the best midfielders in Uganda. I have no doubt about that. He plays good game. He's tall. His height shows everything. Although he looks slow but pacey. Like I can consider Sechiganda as maybe the Udumparaka player who no is who is a sole placing midfielder. Like I'm forgetting his name a little bit, but okay, fine. I'll get his name.
Coco.
Andama Junior.
Andama Junior?
Yeah. The guy is slow, but he scores when he feel like. But passing, quality, brain, I could consider him like, maybe if I talk about maybe midfielders that could contribute like a brain game into the football, is one of the best one. Then I could talk about me Andama Junior. I can talk about this guy of Express.
I remember he has got the leadership to the actual skills with him.
Yeah.
He has been captain in the team of actual SCV. And I remember he's not gonna miss actually the tournament for Uganda Cranes. Remember,
but
of course he's supposed to play it in here when he's playing in Uganda Premier League. So he's actually going to play for APR definitely. He'll be missing that.
Right now, APR in East Africa, they're one of the most paying club in East Africa. So I think he looked at money issue. Of course,
they've given him 2 years contract.
Yeah, of course. Most of our contract is not too big, 2 years, but the money is what than what he was earning at Villa. So let him chase the dream. Go for family stuff, do your work, do your job, and I know and I prove very well he's going to do the work better for APR, because there are very many Ugandan players at APR.
I remember, Moriss, the Queens actually technical team has kind of responded so quick in there. They've actually recalled back actually NEC FC actually midfielder in the names of Samiru Chimero back into the team to replace Ronald Sesiganda, who has crossed over to APR because he will no longer take part for Chan. In Chan for Uganda Queens in there. But the reality is the Chan will be kicking off on the 2nd of August to 30th of August in there. That will be the last day when the match will be ending there. Remember, Uganda will be hosting Team Algeria on 4th at Mandela National Stadium. What a game for Uganda. Before I talk about the list that has been summoned for Uganda Prince, let's first talk about the game that Uganda will be playing against Algeria. Remember, Algeria has been so dominant over Uganda.
No, they have been so dominant over Uganda, but remember also, like Algeria itself, it has been a powerhouse. One day they won the African Cup, but at the moment, if you look at the view, like how the statistic of Algeria, they are not so good on form. They had the likes of Moriss, they had a lot of players who are playing for Premier League, but at the same time, with Ugandan form at the moment, we are good to go. For me, I think, and the performance I've been seeing them on like African Cup, I'm seeing Algeria, I think, may not take over Uganda. Yeah.
Okay, let me take you through the players summoned actually to represent Uganda in the tournament here. The goalkeepers include Joel Mutakubwa of Bull FC. We have Hannington of NEC FC. We have Prispas Kasuma of actually Team Chitara FC in there. We have Mogolofa of KCCA, Dennis actually Chiguntu of Team Vipers in there. I don't know which out of all these players, Mauli Bawakaso and his technical team will pick in the defenders include actually Gavin Kijito of Team KCCA, Lazaro of Team Chitara, and then James Basiga, Bagisa of Team URA, David Owori of AC Villa, Robert Ataya of Express, Gideon Odonk of Team NEC FC, Enoch Walisimbi of URA, and then you have Nicholas Wemere actually of Bull FC, then Jacob actually Ako of NEC FC, Ronald Oti of Chitara FC, Arnold Odonk of AC Villa, and then Rogers actually Otaras of Team Vipers in there, and then Hilary Mukondani of Vipers. Then the midfielders include Marvin Youngman of AC, of Team Vipers actually Sports Club in there. You have Joel Serunjunji of Team KCCA. You have Emmanuel Waswa of Express, actually Elvis Ngontwe of Team AC Villa, and then Regan Pande of AC Villa, and then Saidi Mayancha of Team KCC, and then Samiru of NEC, who has been actually called back to replace Ronald Sesiganda, who has crossed over to EPR, then Abdul Karim Watambala of Vipers, Enoch Sabagala of NEC, then we have Jeremy Chiria of Bull FC, Alan Okello of Vipers, and then Semakula of AC Villa in there. The forwards include Milton Karitsa of Vipers Football Club, and then Safek Nana of KCCA, Ashraf Kiza of KCCA, Emmanuel Anama of KCCA, Eunice Sentamu of Vipers, Charles Ranka of Team SC Villa, then Ivan Asimisibwe of Team URA, and then Baden Ogama of Maroons FC, and then James Bogare of he plays for a team called Masaka Science and FC. I think that should be a team that plays in the actual third tier of Ghana Premier League. So it's the first time that he has been called actually to represent Ghana in the tournament. Then Paddy Kakande of SC Villa, then Jude Semgabi of Team Starenda. This has been the team someone for Ghana Prince.
Like for me, I'm not convinced about the forwards. Although they've called one player who plays in the third tier.
James Bogare.
That's why I'm saying Uganda Mulindo should do thingy. No, sorry.
Mori
Bokwaso and the team and the entire president should do a lot. They should do a lot of scouting. One, if you look at the big league, you need to look at who has been the top scorer. You need to follow a lot. There are players who are more than maybe. Let me talk about maybe Alan Okello talking about. You understand?
Of course, out of all these players, someone here, there's no player in the big league.
There's no player in the big league, so that's why I'm not happy with the whole squad. Yeah, like that's why I'm saying Magogo actually should do a lot of monitoring and developing, because these big league players, they are good to go into the national team, but the truth is, they don't monitor them, they don't watch them, they don't like see them playing. At one point, Omedi was claimed that he was scoring goals, but he was bribing. But Omedi shown them that even that was to the big league. But then when he went into Uganda Premier League, he had shown it that I'm the one, I'm doing it. You understand? So where is Omedi right now? You understand? APR, I think.
Yes, he has crossover.
Yeah, he's at crossover. But now you ask him where is he? These are the players we need to monitor, but he's not into the list. Mohamed Shaban, where is he? Yeah, these are players. Okay, fine. We need to talk about.
Shaban can't play for actually.
Yeah, he can't. How about Omedi?
Omedi can't play because
he can't play. Yeah,
he's playing abroad.
Yeah, this one now we should talk about. We should all monitor all these kind of leagues, whether fourth, whether regional, whether big league. We monitor players and we bring them together. You understand?
All right, viewers, keep actually texting us actually through actually on our WhatsApp actually Facebook on WhatsApp. You can text us there. On Facebook, you can text us there. Even on our email on X, where as well there we shall be responding to your questions actually that you'll be posing to us. Keep actually sending them. Remember, for businesses, you can as well call us on 0393 228209. We shall always be in touch actually with you in terms of business and commercial advice in there. Remember, this sports show is proudly sponsored by Sabirima actually Global Vendors Limited in there and the Baiti Designs. They're the sole sponsors of this show. We're always very proud. Remember, there are a couple of other shows here you can as well come and sponsor. There's the political watch, there's actually the market watch, then the youth zone, the doctor's talk, the business insights, and the Juma summons. They are all right here, and you can as well come in and support us through giving us actually some little kind of support, and then we shall be actually marketing your business right in there. But let's first talk about the FIFA Club World Cup games. They are into the quarterfinals already. Big games coming up, and then one of the biggest one is Team PSG up against actually the team in the names of Bayern. That game will be on Saturday, but let me first take you through the first game that will be coming up actually on the quarterfinals in there. The biggest on that day, we'll see on Friday, that's 4th of July, you will be seeing a team in the names of Fluminense up against Al Hilal that actually eliminated Manchester City from this competition. And then that game will be at 10 p.m. East African time. And then on Saturday at 4 a.m. Palmeiras will be up against the free actually spending team. A squad of Chelsea Football Club will be actually hosting Chelsea Football Club at 4 a.m. Remember, Chelsea Football Club, they spend a lot of money in the ongoing transfer window in there. So we shall see how Chelsea will be actually thriving in this competition there. And then on Saturday again at 7 p.m. East African time, PSG Luke Enrique's side will be up against Vincent Company's team. That will be actually on Saturday at 7 p.m. The biggest is Real Madrid up against their team Borussia Dortmund. That game will be on Saturday at the same time, 11 p.m. East African time. What a cracking games coming up after that.
It's a big cracker. It's a very big cracker into the quarterfinal. But I still have a good prediction. Palmeiras going through. Al Hilal beating Fluminense. So the energy that they are shown through. I remember I predicted that game last time. These guys are not going to go through. Whether you like it or not, Man City will never go through. And I got it's only I got the prediction wrong. I think Al Hilal want to show the entire world that Saudi Premier League is one of the good Premier League. You understand? So the players, if you look at the players, these are players who they are professional. They played good, although they look a little bit tired with age, but I still respect them. They are good players, and like my prediction went on well. I wanted them to win, and they won. Then Palmeiras, I wanted them to qualify. They qualified. But now the only biggest problem now, Fluminense
up against Al Hilal.
Al Hilal. This is now one of the biggest problems.
But Moriss, let's talk about PSG up against Bayern. What a game!
No, it's not a big deal again. Right now, PSG is one of the biggest club in the world. Yeah, they don't have that sound name, but they have that organized community within them. They look at them as underdogs, but still they are the best at the moment. Remember how they made it into the Champions League and saga, beating Bayern to. I never expected that to happen, but at the moment, they want to prove the same result that we are still the one and we are still making it. They have been spending money for the last 5 years. You remember they spent money on Messi, they spent money on Neymar. You understand? So right now, there is no name that you can say this is the biggest name in the world. So all the players want to make it according to their coach. But
Moriss, let's talk about the absence of Kylian Mbappe into the team of PSG.
They're not missing anybody. I don't lie to you. That's why I'm saying they are not missing Kylian Mbappe. They are not missing Messi. They are not missing.
But is it true that the Kylian Mbappe factor has been letting the team down?
Or PSG? No. Actually, it motivated the team up. The absence of him, it has motivated the team up. You know, what coaches don't know, there are these big names. They come around, and then they want to be always the big name, and then they don't make anything good. Like example, I will give you some player at Liverpool, Nunes. They bought him expensively, and you want to use him every time because you bought him expensively, but he's not producing the fact. But now, what PSG did was, let's build a structure of one. Let's look at these other players who have no names and they're performing well. And that's what is making them, right now, the biggest club in the world.
Okay, let's talk about the Real Madrid Dortmund game. Xabi Alonso, are we seeing him for the first time at the helm of Team Real Madrid? Will he be winning this trophy?
I know it's going to be a difficult thing for him. For me, it's still going to be a very difficult task to Alonso. Come and say, I'm winning when PSG is there. For me, I'm still saying PSG is the most likely club to win. Because, the trophy. From the look of things, Bayern, no. Like, they may even eliminate PSG, you never know. Because they are not too organized, as I'm saying.
PSG is not too organized. They may eliminate PSG.
They may. Unlike they may.
That's according to Moriss, but it's up for grabs. Which other team will be winning that? It's not out, which will be watching closely and which will be keeping you posted. But at first you said PSG, you think will be winning this, and again you have changed.
No, I'm like.
What sense is that?
No, like I'm saying, Bayern is going to be beaten by PSG. But then PSG is the same team that's going to win. I haven't changed anything. For me, I'm seeing PSG as a winner. Then maybe Palmeiras itself.
Against Chelsea, so you think Palmeiras will beat Chelsea?
Of course.
So that's what, according to Moriss.
According to me.
Yes, but my point was, let's first talk about Real Madrid. Is it time that Xabi Alonso, for the first time, will be winning this for Real Madrid?
It's a little bit difficult for Xabi Alonso.
Remember,
again, it's a stubborn team from German Dortmund that they play also well. Every time they're always in Champions League. They started the game, and this is a game whereby there's a lot of money. You understand? But I think my thinking is, I think Dortmund, with their few capacity of no star players the way Madrid are signing.
Remember, the biggest talking point is Jude Bellingham's actual brother. He'll not be actually playing against his real brother.
Yeah.
He's going to miss because of accumulated yellow cards.
Yeah, he's going to miss, but still, Dortmund is a good team from German. They are been following them for quite a while, but Real Madrid always want to be everything, and they have got everything because if you look at the attacking force. You have the likes of Rodrigo. You have Mbappe. You have the likes of Vinicius Junior.
The
Endrick. You have
the Garcias of this world.
They have a lot of players. The only problem that is going to give Alonso is one, selecting who is going to play for this game.
All right, let's leave that and talk about. One of the biggest stories coming up actually for Arsenal fans indicates that Arsenal, they are very close actually in reaching to an agreement with the Sporting CP for the services of Victor Gyökeres, who has kind of got a consistent actually startup actually for the team in there ever since he crossed over from Team Coventry City to Sporting CP. He has been so influenced with bagging around 97 goals in 102 appearances for the team. Currently, he's 27 years old, and he has kind of agreed personal terms. That's Victor Gyökeres for you. He has agreed personal terms with the Arsenal Football Club, and Arsenal has offered for him 5 years contract for Victor Gyökeres. But now the point is, Arsenal talking to Sporting CP to see that the player is released to them. Remember, Victor Gyökeres had a gentleman's agreement with Sporting CP that he wants to leave. So he said he will never play for the team anymore. So finally, he has agreed personal terms with Arsenal. So what is only remaining is Andrea Bata to convince Sporting CP CEO to see that this deal comes through.
I think Sporting CP should have a good understanding, because this lad doesn't come for training at the moment. Because of the talks they did with the club. So I think it's a good move. It's going to be a good move for Arsenal, but they should do the earlier the better, because Jesus also Gabriel Jesus is like his lifestyle at Arsenal is not fair because of one thing, injury front. If Arsenal get a player like this, a striker like him, it's going to be a very good replacement of, I think, Gabriel Jesus. Is 27. Yeah, it's going to make some good business with Arsenal. You calculate 27 to maybe 32. Those are 5 years project. It's a good project. Yeah.
So let's talk about a player in the names of Brian Bremer. The latest I'm getting indicates that the Manchester United is gonna actually submit their final bid today, the third bid for Brian Bremer, and they expected to announce actually he's coming at Old Trafford this very week. Are we seeing finally Manchester United actually going to the bank and sign a versatile player, a workaholic actual player in the names of Brian Bremer? Because it's like the deal seems to be imminent enough, and the Manchester United, they are confident that their final bid will be accepted.
It's most likely to be done because Spurs have also like a little bit reluctant to Brian Bremer, because the coach of Spurs, of course, remember he was at Brentford. Then he told Spurs, "This is one of my best player I've liked," but Manchester United have put more energy to bring this lad in. whereby it's not a mistake. If Manchester United bring this guy, it's a very good move, because these are players. He will be pattern junior. These are players who have been within Premier League, and I think it's going to be a very good development at Manchester United under Amorim, because he's trying to target like actually Amorim is trying to be so good. Like I look into the players who are already in the system, who are good with the system, because there are players who comes in and fail from different leagues. And a good example can say maybe Darwin Nunes, who came from Portugal, and he also failed at Liverpool. He didn't fail. He didn't fail a lot, although his performance is not to the expectations of like how they bought him. Because now the question will be, you're bringing Mbemu, who will be patterning him? Who is the midfielder who is supplying this guy? Remember, he comes from a flank.
But United is talking about Inter Milan's Astura Hakan Chanukuru in there, a player that I think has got that creativity into the midfield. Remember, Christian Eriksen has left United, so United is looking for a replacement for Christian Eriksen, and the player they're talking about is actually the midfielder in the names of Hakan Chanukuru of Team Inter Milan. How good would this player be for United in case the deal comes through?
He has been a prominent player in Inter Milan, a good one, no doubt. Champions League, kind of. They are only disappointed at Champions League, and then they were disappointed at Italian Serie A, they didn't win. So, but he has been a good player, because I think, I'm not thinking, in the Italian Serie A, they had only head-to-head with only different points. Not same points, but goal difference with Napoli. So, he's a good player, he's a good fighter at the midfield, but how will he catch up with Premier League? That's the question. But he's a good player. Who will be his closer partner? Those are the questions we should ask at the moment. Yeah, bringing him is not bad, but he's a good player. But now, who is going to partner him? Yeah.
But let's first talk about a team that's so much actually got to spend in big actually into the transfer market, and we're talking about Arsenal still. They're looking at a center back in the names of Christian Mosquera from Team Valencia in there. Remember, he's still 20 years old. He'll be turning 20 very soon. According to sources, Arsenal Football Club actually are willing to pay 15 million pounds for his services, and Valencia are desperate to see that this player stays put with them, and they want to offer him a new contract.
If you look at Masquera and Valencia itself, of recent, they are almost going back to, but this guy fought so hard. He played so good.
Yeah,
for Valencia
in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. He played his best game, and Valencia was into the game. So I think it's a good move. It's a very good move for Arsenal. He's still young. It's a long-term project. You understand? So I think on my side, it's a good move for Arsenal. Let them go and pick him. Yeah, but it's going to take him a little bit, a few months, and for him, it's a few months to catch up with Premier League. He's a good player.
Yeah. All right, Moriss, let's talk about Marcus Rashford's story. It seems like the girl is no longer interested in playing for Manchester United, and the latest actually coming indicates that Bayern Munich, yesterday I talked about this, Bayern Munich are interested in his services, and Marcus Rashford said he doesn't want to play in England anymore. He wants another challenge. So Barcelona Football Club and a team in the names of Bayern Munich, including Juventus and Paris Saint-Germain, have been teams actually lined up for his services, including Newcastle United and Aston Villa, kind of showed interest in him, and Chelsea Football Club. So are we seeing Marcus Rashford finally getting a club? Remember,
I think
at Bayern he'll be having that opportunity because Leroy Sané has left them to join Galatasaray already.
Yeah. Then at the same time, for me, I think let him go to France at Paris Saint-Germain and make a name. Because at Bayern, even though he goes, there's a lot of competition. You have
But
who's a good scorer.
but most when talk about competition at Bayern, Marcus Rashford may at least have a chance. But at PSG, I don't think that he'll be having a chance because of.
He will be having a chance because
no, at PSG he will never have a chance. Let's be honest here. Look at those actual players of PSG.
No, like
you have Doué, you have Kvaratskhelia, and then you have Dembele.
He's going to have
all these players. Whom do you think Marcus Rashford can bench in that team of PSG? No, that's according to me. But that's your opinion.
That's my opinion. He can work out at PSG and become yet English player.
That's according to me. I won't buy that idea.
It's Moriss. Okay, it's our idea, man.
So we are always very grateful to see that you're part of us. And let's talk about one of the stories at Liverpool. Indicates that they are in advanced actual stages to see that they signed a player in the names of Mark Guehi from Crystal Palace. Remember, Crystal Palace have agreed to sign a player in the names of Ousmane Diamond in there from Sporting CP. Finally, he comes from Africa. He has the African origin. So Mark Guehi may likely cross over to Liverpool.
It's going to be a very good idea because you look at it's going to be a backup actually of the original defender, that's Van Dijk, a replacement. He's a guy who plays number 5 too. He can jump to number 3. He can jump to number 4. He's a flexible player. He has been one of the wonderful players actually, the defenders in England this season or the other season too. So if Liverpool wants him, you just know Liverpool want to maintain the trophy, whether they like it or not.
All right, viewers, it's always been a very big pleasure. But before we sign off, one of the biggest stories indicates that one of the European defenders, after strike that every club has been talking about in the names of Jonathan David, has finally crossed over to Juventus down in Italy. You remember, Arsenal talked about him, Manchester United talked about him, Liverpool as well talked about him, but finally he has opted to join Juventus, actually one of the biggest clubs down in Italy. Remember, Juve will be actually seeing that they give tough talents to Inter Milan and Juventus. Team Napoli to see that they become competitive enough to see that the Italian Serie Trophy needs to be shared. It's not so much a dominant affair. Remember, Team Napoli, with the signings that Antonio Conte has got at his disposal, they seems to be actually running away with the dominance of actually in Italian Serie. Then Inter Milan as well, with the absence of Simone Inzaghi, I think it's going to be a very hard one for them. But I think Juventus have kind of got actually one of the best players actually to watch in there. You'll actually reading that line actually for Team Juventus in there. Very good one for Team Juventus. Moriss, your part is short before we leave the studio.
I'm not so happy with Italian Serie because the dominants are always like Juve, Inter, AC Milan. But this time I'm happy because Napoli also won.
All right, viewers, it's always been a big pleasure being with you. Remember, one of the shows we shall be hosting at 7 p.m. in case that we shall be having a political watch. 8 to 9, we shall be having a political watch talk show here. It has been me, Geroh, the host of the show, right here at Satellite TV. It's always been a very big pleasure being with you. Remember, this show is proudly sponsored by Sabiri Rama Global Ventures Limited in there and Byte Designs. They're the sole sponsors of this show. You can as well come in and sponsor us, and we mean business, and we shall never let you down when it comes to giving you the best, when it comes to the sports analysis in there. It has been me, Gerald, and Moriss Rubangan, the owner proud Ahcoli in West Nile. Shout out to you. We are so proud of you, and your comments are always been recognized in here at Satellite TV. We shall always be responding to your questions.
They should follow us and like us and